Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. We are right back. I think I said 10 minutes. I think it may have been an hour. I don't know. But here we are to discuss the new horror movie, Abigail. I just finished a live that I titled It's a Mad World in the horror community. Just basically chit-chatting, bouncing around about a lot of different topics with horror movies. Like we got into a lot of stuff. And now we are back to get into Abigail, which I recently watched. Now, if you were here for the live I just finished, I had said a random idea I had to do like a live horror panel with like different content creators that do horror, and I was like, oh, I'm talking about it, but I'm probably never going to do it. I think I want to do it. I did reach out to a few other YouTubers that do horror content. So we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you guys updated. I think maybe like mid to late June. It depends on everyone's scheduling, but a certain channel isn't available to like mid June. So we'll see how that goes. But let's get into all things ballerina vampires. Now, Abigail, if I'm not mistaken, I did my video either in December, January, something like that, with my most anticipated movies for this coming year. And Abigail was on that list, if I remember correctly. I was excited to see this one. Everyone was raving about it once it came out, and I have to say it was fine. It wasn't a bad movie. There were certainly certain aspects, moments, ideas that I enjoyed, but overall I was underwhelmed. And I absolutely hate when a movie is hyped up, like everyone's, it's not a divisive movie where like some people love it, some people hate it, but those movies where it's like a unanimous, everyone is raving about it type of movies, and then I watch it and I'm just like, oh, that's it. If you are not familiar, the synopsis for Abigail: after a group of criminals kidnap the ballerina daughter of a powerful underworld figure, they retreat to an isolated mansion, unaware that they are locked inside with no normal little girl. I got a lot of issues with Abigail. And one of my, okay, so let's get into kind of some nonsensical stuff for me with the plot. We have a group of criminals who get brought together by my guy from Breaking Bad, Fresh. I can never think. He's one of those actors who, like, I know him and I know his name, but I can literally never think of his name. But he gets a group of criminals together to kidnap the daughter of like a wealthy criminal or whatever. Now, the whole situation with this group of criminals is that we don't know whose daughter we're kidnapping. We only know they got money, obviously, and we're going to get paid for this kidnapping. But some stuff in this that just doesn't make any sense. And one character is like the ex-detective, and I'm like, you're the worst detective on planet Earth, because you couldn't put two and two together. First of all, they're kidnapping the girl for a ransom of $50 million. All I could think was $50 million. Who you think you kidnapped? Chelsea Clinton? Like, that's all I could. Like, how do y'all think I'll get $50 million? And I'm thinking of the movie I absolutely love with Gary Sinise and Mel Gibson and everybody, Ransom. He own like an airline. Like, he was like uber rich. The ransom they asked for was like $2 million. How the hell y'all asking for $50 million? And then this is also the dumbest group of criminals. And I gotta say, I get that this is supposed to be like a comedic horror movie, but that was an aspect that I really did not like. Is I'm perfectly fine with some of the comedic elements added in, but we have like a crew of like bumbling idiots. It didn't work for me. But aside from that, you got this little crew of these idiot criminals. How the hell y'all think y'all finna get $50 million for this job? Like, I don't know. That just felt like an astronomical number. But then what did not make sense in the context of the plot is they get brought to the house and they're told, okay, like the cap on this is 24 hours. Y'all just gotta stay here with the girl for 24 hours. Who the hell do a job and you know the exact, like, how you know it's gonna be 24 hours? What happens once 24 hours runs out? Are we just gonna not get the money? Are we gonna kill the little girl and just leave empty-handed? Like, how you know this man is gonna pay this ransom within this clock of 24 hours? I don't understand that. And obviously, when you see ransom movies, it's like, drop the money off by this time or whatever, but it's not we got 24-hour clock and we're gonna be out of here. And it also didn't make any sense to have the whole contrived give me a cell phone so nobody tracking you. Like, just a made up reason to take everybody's cell phone. And then what also didn't make any sense was the guy who hires us to do the job leaves us at this mansion and he leaves. Now, I ain't no criminal, but that's suspect to me. Like, hold on, bro. Like, this like, why are you leaving? You put the job together. Why aren't you here with us? And that would make me feel funny because it's kind of like Reservoir Dogs when we all go meet at this spot and it's taking so long for the big boss to get here that we're all not all of them, but Mr. Pink character is like, yo, I don't even think this place is safe. Like, we need to get out of here. It could be cops on the way for all we know. If I'm hired to do an illegal job and you kind of just leave me somewhere and I don't know what's going to go down at this spot. Who know about this spot? Like, I don't know. That was kind of crazy. But then when we jump to the end and it's like revealed that he's in on it and they literally couldn't even figure it out for themselves, I'm sitting here like, you motherfucking idiots. When it's time for them to try to leave, they can't get out the house. The house locks down. There's like a gate over the front door. How in God's name do you not think the person that brought you here is in on this when the whole house just motherfucking locked down? Like, stuff like that irked me and did not make any sense. But what I also feel like hurt my experience with this movie was the entire marketing. I wish they kept it secret, kind of like Barbarian did before that movie came out, so that the audience would be surprised with the character of Abigail's reveal. Because the way the story is written, it's written like a whodunit, right? We have a group of characters trapped in this house, and we start getting killed off. So you have the characters going through a whole, I heard when they find out who her father is, I heard he has this assassin that works for him. And what is that girl name? The girl who plays Sam in Scream, she's all like thinking it's another person. And I'm like, a who done it? Who makes a who done it where the audience knows who did it? That makes everything that we're seeing pointless. Like, it doesn't make any it doesn't make any sense for us to follow the characters. Like, Sam from Scream is thinking like Dan Stevenson's character is in on it. But as the audience watching them go through this, to me, is pointless because we know it's the little girl. Like, I feel like it would be more effective if the audience were as clueless as the characters. I don't know. Like, who has ever made a who done it where the audience already knows who did it? That's why did we go that way? I hate the predictability of the movie. You can literally map out every beat the story is going to hit. Like, you know everything before it happens. And what I also didn't like was we get these characters together. Oh, and what I was just talking about, the who done it. So we get the characters together. And what's this girl name? I keep calling her Sam from Scream. What is her name? Melissa Barrera. So we have a moment where all of our identities are supposed to be secret. We get these fake names. Melissa Barrera goes through telling every single person, giving the audience everyone's character outline. And I'm kind of dense because she gets to the black guy and they're like paying her to do this, right? He doesn't pay. So she's like, well, you're getting off easy. I'll just say simplify. When she said that, I was like, so he went to college? Like, I didn't understand what that meant, but apparently it's related to the military. They were saying that he's in the military or was in the military. Now, this is another of the pointless drivel I feel like I had to sit through because we spend time with Melissa Barrera giving us each character's outline just for us to get to another point in the story where Abigail tells them she picked them and why they're all here, and she lays it out for each character. It's why did we have to go through Melissa Barrera giving everyone's character outline just for us to again have Abigail give the character outlines for why they're all here? Like, it feels pointless. And it also feels pointless because Melissa Barrera tells Angus Cloud character, like, he's like a sociopath. And we go through a whole whodunit when the audience already knows who did it. The audience needs to not be in on who did it. And the one you call the psychopath needs to not be the one killed first, because we're doing a whodunit and trying to figure out who did something. Wouldn't it make sense that the one you said is a psychopath could be the one doing this? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. And then it's also feel like just pointless because they all like, I don't care that you want to say the Angus Cloud character is like a psychopath driver. I don't care that you want to say Fett from The Strain like got bullied by his dad. They're gonna all get killed off. The only backgrounds I feel like we need to care about that is pertinent to the narrative is Abigail, Melissa Barrera, and Dan Stevens. Everybody else, what? I don't know. It felt pointless. And I really didn't care for Fett. I think his character was called Peter in here. I always loved that actor. I didn't really care for him in Wolverine, and I don't care for him here. But I didn't understand why he had to be this big, dumb muscle character. Why do we have to go through the whole he was picked on by his... And then that's also the thing. He's the big, dumb muscle character, but they're all dumb characters. Sammy's dumb. The detective was dumb. Dan Stevens, like, you're all dumb characters. I don't know why. It wasn't even like a dense. He was like a over the top dumb. I'm sorry, it didn't work for me. But I don't want to just say all negative things. Something I do like the idea of the ballerina vampire. I like the style of the film. I like the way it was shot. I really did enjoy the chase scenes and incorporating like the ballet moves into when Abigail is chasing them and fighting them. I actually thought that was really cool, and it had a really cool style to that. There's also a moment where Sammy becomes a vampire and Abigail can control her, and we see these dual scenes of Abigail and Sammy doing this ballet dance. I actually thought that was pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of pointless and like she's not fighting or anything. She's just dancing. But it was cool how they added that in there. I liked it. But it also irked me with certain inconsistencies or things that didn't make sense. And I completely understand that each movie can make its own rules. But no matter what rules your movie follows, vampires are dead. Vampires don't have a heartbeat. When we first kidnapped the little girl, Melissa Barrera's character injects her with something. Drugs don't work on a vampire. Well, again, maybe they do, because like I said, each movie makes its own rules. But what doesn't make sense is she goes to check the little girl's pulse. She's a vampire. They don't have a pulse. They're dead. That really didn't make any sense to me. And that's a pretty consistent theme in every vampire movie. Their skin is cold. They don't have a heartbeat. Like, even though each movie can make its own rules, that's a pretty consistent running theme when it comes to vampires. I'll even let the reflection thing go. Usually vampires don't have a reflection, but some movies they do have a reflection. But the whole checking her pulse, I'm sitting here like, now how the hell this girl got a pulse? She dead. But also at the very end, Dan Stevens turns into a vampire in like 2.5 seconds. But an hour earlier, when Sammy turned into a vampire, it took about 30 minutes. See, I don't like inconsistencies like that. No, the rate of change was way too off and way too different. That didn't work for me. And then also my issue with Dan Stevens' character at the end is the character motivations made no sense. And this is also why I said giving us the outline for each character was pointless. We really only needed to focus on Dan Stevens, Melissa Barrera, and Abigail. Dan Stevens is an ex-detective. But now he's a bad guy. We're fighting for our life to get out of here. When old boy comes at the end and they do the obvious reveal and twist that he's a vampire, and he wants Dan Stevenson to turn into a vampire so they can both take down Abigail and her dad. Dan Stevenson is like, okay, whatever, turn into a vampire. Okay, I can buy that. But he literally turns around and kills the person that just changed him as payback for getting him into this. Okay, whatever. You know what? I'll even buy that. But then he goes to kill Melissa Barrera's character. Why? What is even the point of that? Like, huh? And it also doesn't make any sense. I feel like I would have waited until meeting a person that just turned me, took out Abigail and her dad, who I know is on his way. Like, I don't know. It didn't make any sense. Like, what is characters are supposed to have a certain goal, right? The whole goal here is what we're fighting for our life to get out of here. So why did he suddenly, and I get it, oh, this feels great, and now I got all this power. But him turning around to kill Melissa Barrera just made no sense to me. But I was watching this and I'm pissed. I spent $20 to watch this, to rent it when it came on video on demand. I might as well bought the damn DVD for that amount of money. But I was like 53 minutes into the movie. And I literally put in my notes, I'm 53 minutes in and it's okay. I don't know what everyone's raving about. We literally don't get any action for 40 minutes of the movie. It's just us watching the characters interact, which for me was all very dull. Something else that bothered me when I talk about the characters being dumb. What the hell is this? Okay, okay. I'm sorry, y'all. One intermission. Okay, I'm so sorry. I ordered some groceries and I got the alert that they dropped it off. So I had to bring it in. I'm sorry. And I was thrown off by the picture because usually they give you like a delivery photo and it always shows they left it outside my apartment door. But the driver took a picture of the apartment building. So I was like, what if they put my stuff? So I was kind of like, wait, what the? Okay, I'm sorry. So what I was also saying about the characters being dumb. So they kept making idiotic and stupid plans. All three of them try to fight Abigail and lose. So then they have the bright idea to split up. We couldn't fight her together. Why would we split up? And then we have this whole thing of we're going to get her with the syringe again. Let's all split up, call out to Melissa Barrera, and she'll come running with the syringe. That doesn't make no motherfucking sense. Why we can't all stay together and look for Abigail with this syringe? It's a giant freaking mansion, and I'm supposed to think you're gonna come fast enough before I get killed. And also because there are moments where Sammy screams, Peter screams, and it's just like a what are you screaming for? What's happening? Bitch, I could be screaming while she's trying to kill me, and you asking what happened when you're supposed to run over here with the syringe. I don't know, it just didn't make any sense. I was so annoyed with them being such idiots and inept. And I was annoyed that they didn't figure it out that the guy who brought them here was in on it. I'm just like, and when we have a moment where, but I will say when it comes to them being idiots, I will say it is refreshing that we didn't have the stereotypical character that happens to be so smart they piece every single solitary thing together. So that was refreshing, but come on, man, we were all so stupid, especially for us to have somebody that's a freaking detective. But we're able to get Abigail. We get her in this cage. And I'm just sitting here like, I literally knew the entire time she could get out of that cage easily. But we end up having where Dan Stevens is like, hey, I'm gonna make this agreement with you, because she's like, let me out of here and I'll tell you how to get out of the house. And he's taunting her because she's like, oh, go to the library, pull this book, you'll get out. And this idiot gonna talk about, oh, like, you're so easy, you really thought I'd let you out? And he's so super close to these wide ass bars that of the cage she's in that I literally thought she was just gonna quickly grab him and kill him. No, she pushes the things open, and I'm like, you idiot. But he's able to escape and get to the library, and this dummy really thought she told him a way out. Like, come on, man. It just wasn't my cup of tea. I will say this is the same people that did Ready or Not. And when the vampires die, they do this explode, blood, fly, everything. We saw vampires explode, and From Dusk Till Dawn, we saw the explosion thing in Ready or Not. I actually still really like it. It's really fun, little cool, gory effect. I will also say that once Dan Stevens turns into a vampire, I don't like how easily he's able to overcome Abigail and pretty much defeat her. And her being so close to death, she has to ask a human for help. She makes an alliance with Melissa Barrera so they can work together to kill Frank, was Dan Stevens' name. We find this whole pool. It's all these people she's done this to. And you mean to tell me this group of idiots were the hardest for you to take out? And that also bugged me too. There's a whole pool of people she does this to. She gives us this, or we get the character outline. They give us this whole thing about how basically Abigail tricks people who she wants to get revenge on for her father to come here. And the reasons are so stupid and petty. Melissa Barrera is a doctor that works on, or she was a medic in the military, and now she does work for like criminals. And one of the criminals died. So y'all got to kill her for that? Like, I don't know. It just all felt like y'all some petty ass vampires. Like, but I don't know. It just felt, it didn't make any sense. I will say there were some, the comedy did not hit for me at all. There's a scene, the actress Sammy, she's played in quite a few things that I really enjoy. I didn't care for her here. When at the top, when they're trying to take the cell phones and she's like, oh, just let me text. Oh, I'm just saying here, like, none of the comedic moments are working for me, but there were a few like cool one-liners when when we first figure out we're dealing with a vampire and we're trying to figure out how to defeat her. And it's like, we need garlic, we need XYZ. I love when Sammy go to the kitchen for garlic, but she come back and it's like, Sammy, those are fucking onions. And I also like when Dan Stevens thinks he can turn Melissa Barrera into a puppet immediately. And Abigail is like, here's the thing about being a vampire. It takes a lot of time to learn all the cool shit. Like, it was certain moments that was like, okay, well, this is cool. But what I also didn't like is once we get to the absolute end, we've defeated Dan Stevens. Abigail agrees to let Melissa Barrera go. All of a sudden, her dad pops up. I really thought this was very useless, and we could have just cut the movie because when the vampire dad comes, that scene, the way it's done, it's like it's this build up, like a setup to like a oh shoot moment. But honestly, they reveal her dad, and he's giving me more nerd like net. Like I'm not scared or intimidated. I don't know. It was a letdown. I thought the way they built up the reveal of who her dad is, I thought that was gonna bring in Spike or Angel from Buffy. Like I thought that was gonna bring in Nicolas Cage as Dracula. I thought we were really about to get like a reveal. So it was such a letdown. And then it really irked me when Melissa Barrera is finally able to leave. I feel like it took her so fucking long to drive off. Like she gets in the car and she kind of sits there and she has this whole candy thing the whole movie and she finds this lollipop. And I'll be so ready to drive off. Like that kind of annoyed me. I wasn't as enamored with this as everyone else seemed to be. I was honestly pretty bored. It felt lackluster the first like 40 minutes, but I would give this a solid 5 out of 10. I feel like it is an average, enjoyable movie. It has some really good ideas. I would be down for an Abigail sequel. I really like the style of it. Some stuff worked, but I felt like we could have done so much more with this, and it had a lot of potential. It didn't work. And I really like Melissa Barrera, but I feel like she basically played Sam. Like she basically played the same character we see her being Scream. Like I don't know. Is she just playing her? I don't know. But I just was like, the character I like the best. I just like Dan Stevens, and I felt like he had a good character. But the most interesting character was Abigail, and I felt like the actress was amazing and pretty much outshined everyone. But I don't know, everybody kind of felt like throwaway characters. Like and when you talk about like a final girl, the lead, the main person, I feel like Melissa Barrera's character, what was her name? I can't Joey something. But it was like nothing special. There was nothing that really made me root for her or just really like her. It didn't work for me. But I feel like I'm always just on a planet by myself. Because every time people are raving about a movie, and I'll be going into it like it's like hype, like, oh shoot, everybody raving about it. I'm excited for this. But it just be a letdown. Thank you so much for watching the video, for supporting the channel. Make sure you hit like on this video and comment and let me know, how did you feel about Abigail? I'm pissed that I spent $20 to rent this. I should have just bought the motherfucking DVD. Like, if I'm gonna pay $20 to rent it, I should like, yo, Lord Jesus. That still irks me. And then when you rent from Prime, they be putting tax on it. So it's like, it was like a $20 rental. What the hell is y'all taxing the rental? Like, why are y'all taxing the rental? That irks me so bad. But thank you so much. And we also have a few live videos scheduled for tomorrow, where I will be discussing the new horror movie Late Night with the Devil, and also the new horror movie Out of Darkness. I might make that one video. Right now it's separated as two. I might just talk about them in one video. And I will also be doing 28 Weeks Later, because we have the new 28 Years Later, because they skipped the months, child. They skipped 28 months later. But I'll also be doing 28 Weeks Later tomorrow, and I'll have a guest for that one, and you'll have to show up to see who the guest is. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.